Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, today I wanted us to have an interesting discussion about the song Bad Luck Charm and what the song actually teaches us about Qrow. Because the song actually gives us some insight to his character and kind of gives us a little bit of clues as to why he feels the way he does. But anyways, sit back, relax, I hope you all enjoy, and let's go ahead and jump right on into this discussion. So, when talking about Qrow, there are a lot of things that we still have yet to know about a lot of the members of Team Stark with their backstories. I mean, there are some things we have learned, obviously, about them, but when it comes to them, a lot of them still remain a mystery, and I think over time we're going to see more things. But when it comes to Qrow, there's a little bit more on Qrow that we have, and considering that the song Bad Luck Charm is Qrow's theme, this actually teaches us a lot about himself and about what he actually thinks about himself as well as his own semblance. This song is actually from his perspective. It is Qrow giving more insight about what he thinks of himself as well as the semblance. And, we've heard a little bit about it in the series itself, about when he was talking about his own semblance in Volume 4, about how he thinks it's a bad luck charm and that he hates his own semblance, that he finds it to be more of a curse than it is a blessing. This song obviously goes more into that and gives us more details of Qrow's thoughts. And I'll go ahead and start by jumping into some of the lyrics and telling you about them and telling you about what they actually mean when it comes to Qrow's character. Now, as we look at the first part of the song with the lyrics is, "Pain is your reward for being near me. Fate won't be your friend when I'm around. Blame me for the tragedies that follow. Engrave the situations that surround." Now, when we look at this, obviously, you're hearing negative thoughts. You're hearing thoughts about Qrow that are negative, because he's saying that whenever you're near him, you will always feel pain. You will always feel sorrow, because that is what he brings, is what he thinks. He believes that he's bringing pain no matter where he goes. And fate won't be your friend when I'm around. That is along the lines of his own semblance, because since misfortune acts in any way that it can bring any form of misfortune to anybody, whether it be his allies or his enemies. Anybody feels the attack of his own semblance, so it can be at any time, and he can't control it, so he doesn't know when it's going to happen. And blaming for the tragedies that follow can also result in the semblance, because the semblance itself can actually create the problems. The semblance itself does not always work within his favor. I mean, it can, but at the same time, it also can work against him. That's why he hates his own semblance. Engrave the situations that surround, therefore meaning, obviously, a grave thing will happen. Something very terrible, a tragedy, which is stated, can happen due to misfortune. So, of course, this shows that due to misfortune, he obviously is not a fan of his own semblance, and that's where the grave part actually comes in, because a grave situation can happen due to misfortune. Now, of course, this obviously starts to show what Qrow thinks a little bit about himself as well as his own semblance, and it actually kind of makes you think about why he is a bit of an alcoholic, because maybe there have been situations that his own semblance has actually formed, which could have actually led to someone's death, or another tragic moment within those realms. Now, of course, looking at more of this, the next part of the song states, "I'm a harbinger, I cannot lie, I will change the color of your life. I don't mean to bring you pain, but I will just why I can't explain." Now, this obviously goes more within the fact of he is not going to make your life better. Qrow thinks that he is a negative influence rather than a positive one. He thinks that because of what's going to happen due to his semblance, in which he cannot control, more misfortune will bestow upon anyone that is around him as well as himself. And he can't explain why it has to happen to him. He cannot explain why these events actually occur. And that makes sense, because when it comes to misfortune, Qrow cannot rely upon that. That's why if you notice when Qrow fights, his skills, they're very polished, and he's actually a good, fast, strong fighter. Now, when we also look at this, though, he takes a gamble because he takes advantage of his semblance. So, what I mean by this is, when the semblance misfortune actually starts to work in his favor, he will take advantage of that, but he does not rely upon it, because he knows anything terrible could actually happen to him or anyone around him. That's why when he fights, he tends to like to fight on his own rather than somebody else fighting with him, because he does not want to take the gamble of somebody getting hurt or even possibly killed. And so, let's go ahead and go further into the song now. The lyrics, "I'm a cursed black cat, I'm an albatross, I'm a mirror broken. Sad to say, I'm your bad luck charm." Now, these are all superstitious beliefs of being bad luck charms. Whenever a black cat comes your way, it's believed to bring bad luck. Obviously an albatross is a sign of bad luck. A broken mirror is also, yet again, another sign of bad luck. So, Qrow associates himself with bad luck because of misfortune. It all comes down to misfortune and how it does not work well as a semblance whenever it actually works against him. So he obviously sees it as nothing more than bad luck. He sees it as a problem rather than a blessing. That's why he considers it a curse. And which, in a sense, it is. It is a gamble, and it is actually a problem in a sense, but it can also work for him. With the Tyrion fight, we did see the semblance, to a degree, for a certain point, work for him, but once he actually got cut by the stinger, we obviously knew that misfortune then did not work for him, and it showed that misfortune is, as I stated, a gamble. So let's continue to look at these lyrics. Shame, I hang my head in constant sorrow. Rain on every day you need the light. Strain to see some fortune in tomorrow. Bane is what I am to every life. Now, yet again, this goes more upon Qrow looking at himself as a bad person, because shame, when you feel shameful, you feel like you are the problem. When you feel shame at something, it means you feel like you could have done better, and hang my head in constant sorrow means that you are depressed, you are upset, and you could be even angry at yourself. And when you look at Qrow, this is how Qrow feels. Qrow feels the shame. And when it comes to rain on every day you need the light, it means that he is more of a downpour of negativity than he is a positive look. And so, considering that that is a statement there, it just shows that Qrow himself believes that he is a negative person rather than a positive one that would be in your life. So if Qrow came into your life, he thinks that he would negatively influence it rather than positive. And strain to see some fortune tomorrow means that he's always looking negatively at the next moment. At the next day, he's looking at it in a negative light. He's not looking at it in a good way. So it's actually very sad to think about. That's how Qrow sees things. And Bane is what I am to every life, therefore meaning he thinks that he is a terrible thing when it comes to life as well, that he could actually put an end to it due to his semblance. He thinks that he could wreck others' lives. And that's the way he looks at it. He looks at it as he is nothing good himself. He looks at, whenever it comes to anybody, any individual, that he is the negative part to life. And the next part of the song actually leads into that as well, saying, you should trust one thing, take my advice. If you linger close, it's a hefty price. You and I are not the same. You don't want the burden of my name. Therefore, saying the burden of my name, therefore means that he does not like himself, that Qrow has an issue with himself. And it's actually sad because as a character that Qrow is, I enjoy him myself, but to see himself think negatively of himself, it's very sad. But I think a lot of people do that from time to time, but it's to the point where that's all that Qrow thinks about when it comes to himself, that there is no positivity when it comes to him, and that's what a lot of the lyrics really state with the song about himself as well as his semblance. And it's very sad to see Qrow associate himself with nothing but pure negativity when he actually has been a good thing or an influence in RWBY's life, for example, as well as Yang's. And when you look at it, Qrow himself, he really sees himself through the song, and through interpreting what the song states, it just says that Qrow himself sees himself as nothing more than a curse, nothing more than a misfortune, nothing more than a problem, and that he is nothing but a negative influence upon anyone's lives. This is not just anyone that's his family or friends. This is everybody, whether they know him or not. And it's very sad that Qrow looks at himself this way when his character, he has shown that he is a good character and that he has some good traits, but obviously the song really does state his opinion and how he feels, because each song always tells us something about the characters or events that may be to come in the future, and this song, as it being Qrow's theme, really teaches us what his inner thoughts are about himself as well as his semblance. And this gives us a bit of an idea as to maybe what could have led him on to feeling this way, because obviously he may not have always felt this way, but that maybe something happened in the past, and maybe eventually this will be flushed out, and we'll get to know what actually may have happened to make Qrow think this way. But anyways, let me know what you think down below. Whether you agree or you disagree, let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, hit the video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and share this with your friends if you found this informative or useful. Well, anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful day, and remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.